So one of the things we knew we wanted to do cohort-based learning just because we are a global company. We're spread out between US, Canada, and Europe. But also last year, they did their first employee engagement survey. And the number one thing that came out of that was that our employees were clamoring for leadership development opportunities. We also know that we wanted to target any of our development needs towards our AGM and GMs of the various 101 railroads that we own.
I think it's very interesting because we want to get learners to an endpoint, right? We're still trying to teach them something, if you will. But what we're really trying to do is say, based on what you already know, how do you get to this new endpoint with modified information? So we're not hitting them over the head with rote memorization and answering a bunch of questions. It's sort of this, it's a different path, it's a different journey, it's a different experience, right? I want to get you to this endpoint, but I want you to get you to this endpoint in a more organic type of way. And I think that's what's really challenging for me when I think about designing for sort of collaborative instruction. And anybody else, feel free to chime in with your thoughts as well on that.
This is Sam. I thought I'd just add a thought. Hi, Sam Herring. I'm with the Intrepid team on the question of in-person versus digital collaborative learning, cohort learning. I think a really important point to consider is the cohort learning can blend really effectively with in-person. And just think of all the techniques that we as learning designers employ to flip the classroom. And so we would never look at in-person learning, or we shouldn't anyway, as an isolated experience. We want to build a learning journey over time. We want to have prep. We want to have reinforcement. So that in-person can still be the really high value in-person experience for collaboration, connection, practice. But we can scaffold around that with the cohort over time. So that's another way to think of it. It's not necessarily either or.
Yeah, hi everyone. So this class actually starts today. Today is the first day. It launched this morning. But this class it's one of those things that come from the thought of why is learning at work different than the way we work, or why is learning at work different from the way we learn everywhere else in our life? So if you think of learning at work, it's really the only place where we click next to continue in order to learn. When we go home, we read, we watch, we ask questions, we practice, we share knowledge, we get feedback, and we learn from the experience of others. So if you think of the YouTube videos, it's not just the YouTube, it's the conversations that happen in the comments where people ask questions about the video. It's going on forums about fixing your dishwasher, your washing machine, or something like that. There are all these different ways that we learn in our real lives that really aren't incorporated into learning at work. It's really that push environment that Daryl talked about.
Hey, Jesse, it's Tomas. I'm building a thing where we're calling a managerial effectiveness learning journey at my company, and it's very similar to what you're doing. So it's going to be asynchronous learning, and then we're calling them manager skills labs. So if you learn something on like delegation, then you come and you learn like 2 courses, let's say on your own, then you come into the manager skills lab to do some practice through some role plays, scenarios, things like that. So you actually can do something with the learning that you've done. And so we like you said, like a lot of things that you said made sense to me, a lot of the assessments and then follow-ups and those kinds of things. So we're not using a fancy platform like Intrepid, unfortunately, but we're holding their hands along the way, that sort of thing. So